ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Welcome back, Cherries fans, and welcome to our new show, the Dean Court Social, your place ahead of all the AFC Bournemouth games up and down the country this season. Before we get going, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button below. It means the world to us. But this is your place to find out all about AFC Bournemouth. And if you are an opposition fan, sorry, but we are going to give our honest opinions on each team. But it wouldn't be the Dean Court Social without my main man next to me, Mr. Matthew Harrison. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, all good, Craig. Yeah, I'm looking very forward to doing these shows this season. It's going to be great. And yeah, even more importantly, great that the football's back. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Finally. I know the EFL has already kicked off, but we are opening up the Premier League for the first time ever. So we are now box office here at AFC Bournemouth, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be walking away with the 3 points and be top of the league. Come Saturday morning. You never know. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Be nice. We can all but dream, but there we go.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing these shows also in person moving forwards. The reason for me not being in person, unfortunately, today is I have been working away in London, but keep your eyes peeled, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell button. You'll find it all first. But I'll tell you what, let's touch upon, Liverpool. And we haven't got a good record at Anfield, have we, Matt?
No, obviously we've, not had the greatest of records there. Only 1 point in our Premier League history that we've managed to take away from Anfield. But you know what? There's got to be a time there when we do pick up 3 points. Obviously, last season we had such a great season. I know there's obviously we've lost certain players, etc. But we've got to stay positive. Liverpool are the best side in the league, in my opinion. But at the same time, no team is unbeatable, are they? So, definitely got a chance of picking something up, which we'll go through in a minute. Probably how to exploit Liverpool. But yeah, why not?
And everybody watching, as Maloko once said, the time is now. We are going to be walking away with 3 points from Anfield. We are confident. You should be confident, Bournemouth fans, Liverpool fans. Are you quaking in fear? You leave your comments below and do let us know. But I'll tell you what, let's touch quickly upon our new signing. Of course, we've signed him, Kerkez, announced earlier on today. Exciting?
Yes, I mean, I've looked up some footage on him, actually. Good, aggressive player. My kind of defender. I'm really quite excited about it, actually. I know, obviously, the two that have left, it's a shame that they've left. They're class players. But, again, it looks like the recruitment have done a spot-on job by bringing this guy in. So, yeah, it looks really exciting, aggressive in the tackle, good at taking the ball out as well, bringing the ball forward. So, yeah, I think, again, the recruitment have signed the right player for the team.
Keep your eyes peeled if we think he is going to be starting up at Anfield. So you've got to watch to the end to find that out. But Matt, like we say, we haven't got good record there. But this time is going to be very, very different. How are we going to beat Liverpool?
Yeah, obviously the signings that they've made. Obviously, we'll touch on a little bit later on, but yeah, their front line is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Defensively, we have got to be sound to get anything up at Liverpool. For me, I think we've got to capitalise on the potential Liverpool weaknesses and maximise our strengths.
Yeah.
I know that's probably sounds very simple, but football is a simple game, really, isn't it? But
Yeah.
when we go up there, our high press, our high tempo, if we can unsettle Liverpool and then force them to possibly make some kind of defensive errors, if we're being aggressive and physical with it, we can try and force them to try and make some mistakes at the back. Counter attacks as well could be quite important for us.
Yeah.
If Liverpool lose possession in our half, it can leave gaps. If you watched against Palace, when Palace did win the ball back, I thought there was potential gaps there that we, if it was us playing, that the likes of, Semenyo, Trufair, whoever's playing on the other side, whether it be Brooksy, Smith, or whoever, can potentially get into those positions and get the ball forward and start an attack. It's very, very simple, but I think Liverpool are so good that it's going to take something like that for us to beat them or get something at Liverpool.
Yeah.
The flanks for me is quite key. I know they've signed Jermaine Frimpong.
Yeah.
And if you watch him, he's excellent at going forward. But I do think, in some respects, slightly similar to maybe Trent. At times, I think he can be caught out. So I think, if Semenyo and Trufair can link up well on that left side for us, we could definitely cause him some problems.
Yeah. 100%. And of course, they have signed some fantastic players, Florian Wirtz. And, they've also signed one of our own as well, in Milos Kerkez, which we're absolutely gutted Milos has left the club. But there was talk about it from an early stage. Forget all the YouTube videos that Kerkez put up and said that he wasn't going to Liverpool at the time. He did in the end. I guess money does talk. Ambition talks. He's an ambitious player. But we'll find. Do you think he's going to start against us?
It's an interesting one. Obviously, he started the Charity Shield, Community Shield, sorry, as it's now known. Is he going to start? It's a very good question. I mean, I think, that everyone sees him as the natural successor to the left back role, taken over from Andy Robertson. But at the same time, Andy Robertson's still a good, decent player, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised in the game against us that that we see both of them. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, for me, if I was picking the Liverpool team, of course, I'd put Kerkez in there. We've watched Kerkez for a couple of years. We know what he can do. He's a fantastic player, and he suits Liverpool down to the ground. I hate to say it, but it is true. So, I mean, if I was picking the Liverpool side, he'd be straight in there for me.
Yeah, and he would be for me. The question, though, really is if he does play, do we get at him because we know what he's about? We know his style of football, and we know how when he does move forwards, which no doubt he will do at Liverpool, he's going to do the same job as what he did for AFC Bournemouth. Do we know how to counteract that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one, really, isn't it? It's he's going to be so up for it. He's going to be so up for it that he's not going to. I personally think he's not going to put himself in that vulnerable position where he's going to be caught out. I think he's going to be on top of his game if he does play. I think it's going to give us a real difficult game. He's got a point to prove, isn't he? I suppose, really, in some respects. He's at his new club. It's his first league game at Anfield. It's against his previous club. He's got. He's not going to want to have a poor performance, so he's going to be buzzing for it. Absolutely buzzing for it. for me, it's more of a selection from our point of view.
Yeah.
Have we got the players to contain him?
Hmm.
We know what he's like at going forward. We know
Yeah.
how dangerous he can be. He can assist.
Yeah.
For me, it's key on the selection of right back, really.
Hmm.
And we've got Smithy, who is the elder statesman of the squad. He's experienced. Probably, I would say, stronger defensively than Iraola.
Yeah.
But then again, Iraola has the pace to possibly, beat Kerkez if on the attack, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Can Smithy beat him on the attack with his pace? I don't think he could see 90 minutes. So
Hmm.
for me, it is, key on who Andoni selects at right back, I think,
Hmm.
massively, if we can to contain him.
Of course, Liverpool are thought to be the team who are most likely to win the Premier League title again. I think, in most people's minds, they'd be silly to bet against them. Of course, Man City, Man United, if Man United have probably looking like they might make a bit of a comeback. There's Chelsea up there. All the big teams are going to be competing for the title, but Liverpool look like the standout side. But they're not coming into this game in particularly good form. And of course, with the Community Shield game against Crystal Palace, is that going to knock confidence going into the Premier League opener?
Not confidence. I wouldn't have said so. No.
Hmm.
I mean, if anything, they're going to want to bounce back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is possibly going to make it, maybe an even tougher, game for us.
Hmm.
Um, I think the new signing they've made, Akete, is it? The
Yes.
striker, fantastic. I mean, watching that game on Sunday, I literally thought, what a player. I've not
Hmm.
really seen much of him, seen the odd like goal he scored and stuff like that, but not really
Yeah.
watched much of him. And do you know what? Newcastle must be looking at that and thinking, what a loss that is, because he would have
Hmm.
been fantastic in Newcastle's side and he is going to be phenomenal at Liverpool. I really do think so.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, going back to just us quickly, you know, Liverpool, we all know are the best side in the league. I think this Premier League season, I think personally, it's going to be probably one of the closest ones
Yeah.
that we've had in a long time, and that's at both ends of the table.
Yeah.
Like you've just touched on Chelsea, they just won the World Club Cup. They won the Conference League as well, didn't they? And I think, they're going to be up for it this year. You've got the same old teams there, Man City. We all know what Man City are capable
Hmm.
of. They're going to really take Liverpool to the line, I think.
Hmm.
So I think it's going to be a really close one at the top. And, for us, to have a equally as good season as last year, I really do think that, and in games like Liverpool playing at Anfield, I think we've got to really make the most of our set pieces,
Yeah.
our corners, because I think if we are going to nick anything at Anfield, because to be fair, no one, we're not crazy thinking we're going to go out there and beat Liverpool 3-0. I
Hmm.
think if we do get anything at Anfield, we are going to just nick it.
Yeah.
So things like set pieces, delivering the ball in from corners, we've got to be really
Hmm.
spot on, and start to score some more goals from those kind of positions. I think if we're going to beat teams this coming season like Liverpool, I think that's going to be quite key.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, last season I think we averaged something like 6 corners a game.
Yeah.
So if we average that again this season, we've got to really improve. I think on getting something out of those kind of set pieces and corners. So, I mean, for me, yeah, that is one area I think that if we can exploit,
Hmm.
then we can definitely nick something. Like I say, it's not going to be, we're not going to go up there and run away with it. But who says we can't nick it 2-1?
And of course, we've had decent results at Dean Court in the past, and they have been hard-fought games against Liverpool. We're not touching too much on the past here, but
No,
they are always hard-fought games. They're hard-fought results. Some great memories, and I think honestly, we can go up to Anfield and we can make memories in a place where we've not had much success. They have spent a hell of a lot of money in the transfer window. Um, they are going to be a frightening proposition, but in fact, playing them first game of the season, some people might look at the fixture list and go, that's not going to be a good start. It might actually be a blessing in disguise, this.
Quite possibly. Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, if we get something, out of the game, whether it, is the 3 points or a point, we'll look back on that as an excellent result to start the season. I mean, and then other way to look at it, if we are unfortunately defeated, people look at it from the perspective that, right, that's Anfield out of the way. Let's focus on the next game. But yeah, it could well be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, 100%. And it is going to be an emotionally charged game as well. Of course, the terrible news and the awful news with regards to Diego Jota and his brother, in that car accident, a while back now. They are going to want to win their first game for Diego. I know that. And there is going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, lots of memories. And he was a fantastic player, who they will miss. But Liverpool fans, I know, are some of the most vocal. They're some of the most supportive fans out there. And as much as it will be a very sad moment, and a moment that nobody and no fan base should be having to go through for such a young man, such a young player, and such a talented player. I'm sure that their memorials will do, Diego justice, and our thoughts remain with his wife and his children and his family.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be a very poignant moment at Anfield, and yeah, like you say, it's going to charge the players up as well to want to get the win for for him and his memory. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a very emotional night.
We just have to focus on what AFC Bournemouth are going to do, and that is we're going there to get the 3 points, and I'm confident that we can do it. But I tell you what, let's bring in a really, really good friend of our channel, who's got a fantastic channel himself, Doug Horn, and let's hear what he's got to say.
Hello, everyone on Up the Cherries in all departments. I am here to give you the opposition side of things for Liverpool against Bournemouth on Friday, the 15th of August. Yes, the Premier League is back, and I am so excited for the best league in the world to be back. I'm really, really excited. As far as we are concerned, well, last season was fantastic. I don't think anyone expected Liverpool to win the league. But fair play to Arne Slot, came in and didn't really change much, I think is the safest thing to say. And I think when you look at what he brought in this summer, you can quite clearly see he's wanting to get his own squad now. I think the season with Klopp's team is obviously over, so we're getting our own players in. And what some signings we've made, obviously Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekiteke, someone you'll know as well, Milos Kerkez, and Jeremy Frimpong at the moment as well. And there is still talks about obviously Alexander Isak and Mark Guehi potentially as well. So how am I feeling going into the season? I've got to be honest, very, very excited. Very, very excited. I think we've got some really good players. Think we're a little bit suspect defensively still, but I do think once obviously Gravenberch and McAllister do come back, I do think that we'll be absolutely fine. As far as obviously looking at you guys, I'm a little bit concerned, I've got to be honest, especially with the fact that you have lost almost your entire back line. So it gives me kind of confidence going into this game, knowing that you'll probably have like a makeshift sort of back four almost. And obviously it'll be sort of players that haven't played with each other before. Obviously, I know pre-season as well, but Premier League's a completely different kettle of fish when we do come to it. And I've got to say, I do think that you may have a bit of a drop-off this season. I do have a feeling about that. I know when you lost Kerkez, and I know when you lost Dean Huijsen, I was kind of fearing the worst when obviously Zabarni is now obviously confirmed now as a PSG player. I was a little bit concerned. So obviously you made some good signings. Obviously, Truffert coming in at left back, but yeah, I think it could take a bit of time to get going this season. Like you did fantastically last season to finish in the top half, and yeah, you were fantastic last season, and I am looking forward to this game. Last season we won both games. One was obviously 3-0 at Anfield. Darwin Núñez scored the pick of the goals that day as well. You've lost Kepa, which I think in a way is probably... I look at Chelsea's goalkeepers that they could have given you, and Petrovic, for me, I think is probably the best one. So I think he is a really, really good signing for you guys. And then obviously Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does best, and scoring the goals at the Vitality last season. So yeah, you know what? Opening game, you just don't know what's going to happen. This is the first game we've been defending champions since 2019-2020, and I think we beat Norwich 4-1. I think that day. Leeds 4-3. So I'm hoping it's not going to be kind of a game like that as well. But you have big threats in your team. Obviously, Semenyo is the one I'm looking out for. I'm obviously looking out for Ryan Christie if he is fit. That is as well. Evan Nielsen's always a threat as well. So look, I think it's been a very, very interesting game. I think it was one of those games where you'd be like, oh, crumbs, do we have to play Liverpool first game of the season? But it does get Anfield out of the way. Anyway, as far as a score prediction is concerned, I do think that we start the season well. I do think we start with a win. I'll give you guys a goal because, as I said, I don't think we're the best defensively right now. But what I will say is I do think that Liverpool will come out on top. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Liverpool. I'm going to go Semenyo to score for Bournemouth. And for us, I'm going to go Ekiteke, Salah and Wirtz. So thank you very much. Good luck for the game, and good luck for the rest of the season.
So there we are. Thank you so much to Doug, and always a pleasure to have him on this show. But I tell you what, let's have a little look at our predicted lineup, and let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree, or if you think that we're spot on. Do you agree with our substitutes? Let us know. But here is our predicted lineup. So, as you can see here, Petrovic, no surprise, he is in goal. Truffert on the left-hand side, Senesi and James Hill in the centre-back positions, Adam Smith on the right, Tyler Adams and Alex Scott just in front of them, Marcus Tavernier, Antoine Semenyo on the left-hand side, David Brooks on the right, and our Brazilian, Evan Nielsen, up front. Substitutes that we put down here, Dennis, Arejo, Dango Watara, Diakite, Soler, Krupi, Traore, Phil Billin, and Adu Ajayi. So Matt, let's talk through this, because I'm sure everybody, when they click onto this video, was thinking they're going to put Diakite straight into this lineup. What are your thoughts on that possibility?
Well, we're just looking at it from a supporter's point of view. Obviously, it's probably different on the training ground. Obviously, he has trained with the squad. Is it a bit too early to chuck him in there? Does he need a bit more time to settle in with the squad first? That's kind of the trailer for. And in which case, is it safer to play Hill against Liverpool? Or does the man there, Andoni, chuck him straight in? Obviously, we'll see that on on Friday night. But from my perspective, that's the trail of thought. If you look at the centre of midfield, obviously we've got Christie, who's still a doubt. Obviously,
Yes.
Cook would be suspended anyway, but he's also injured. So me personally, after the pre-season, I think the strongest two to go with will be the two that we've selected. Dango, obviously, we've put on the bench. Personally, for me, he's had the best pre-season that I've seen him have. But obviously, with the speculation going around, can you start him? Could work one of both ways. You start him to show intention that you want him, that you're going to be playing him. But is the speculation a little bit too much to start him? That's why I've put Brooks in there, who also I thought had a very, very good pre-season. Obviously, with Kluivert being out, it doesn't look like he's going to make it. Plus, he's not had any minutes over pre-season. So I'd be very, very surprised to see him start. And I think Tavernier against Real Sociedad looked very, very good behind the front man. That's why I've placed him there. And of course, who else would you place on the left? There isn't anybody else. So, the man that we've picked there, Semenyo, who's, fantastic player who's made that position his own. So there was no one else we could really pick, I think, for him. And then obviously the man leading the line there, Evan Nilsson. I think, from our perspective, I think, we've picked possibly the 11 that may be picked. Right back, again, is quite questionable. Iraola, who has the pace, Smith has more of the defensive capabilities. So I still think he would possibly edge with Smith. But the bench as well, I think the new guy, Diakite, he goes straight in onto the bench. He's involved in the match day squad for definite. And I also think Adudeji had a fantastic pre-season. And for me personally, I would chuck him in there on the bench.
I completely agree with that. And a lot of people will be turning around and saying, because of Diakite coming in, do we sacrifice the new man, keep Chris Metham in the side? I personally think you've got to go for like for position wise. Dango, I completely agree with you. The speculation I think is a little bit too much. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If we do, put Dango into the side and we do lose this game, will people blame him? Whereas keeping him out and putting him on the bench, takes him a little bit out the firing line as well. But I think Senesi and Hill, we've got to go with over Diakite. Andoni Iraola hasn't had enough time to work with Diakite as yet. He's only just signed. So give him a week. I'm sure we'll see him against Wolves. It will be, tough for Hill or Senesi. Senesi's not had the greatest of pre-seasons, to actually be replaced in the side with Diakite. But hey, if we win up at Anfield, which I'm confident we can do, then why would you change your winning side? That's the other thing as well you got to look at.
Yeah, no, definitely. Totally agree.
Yeah. So there is our lineup. Let us know. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? What changes would you make? Do you think we're talking absolute trash? Let us know. But there we are. But yes, it's exciting times. The Premier League is back. We are the box office. Matt, time for a score prediction. What are we going for?
I'm going with. I'm going to go with 2-2.
2-2. Do you know what, Liverpool fans? You might want to close your ears for this one, but I think this might be the perfect storm. You've been beaten by Crystal Palace. Your new signings are going to have to take some time to bed in. AFC Bournemouth haven't. And when you've seen that side, I'm pretty sure some Liverpool fans will be like, well, the defence has changed quite a bit, but it's still a very, very strong team. And I think we are overdue a win at Anfield. And I'm going to go with a 2-1 Bournemouth win, where we're going to go 2-0 up early on. Liverpool will make a bit of a fist of it, but our new look defence will hold out. Let us know what you think. Do you think I'm talking rubbish? Do you think Matt's talking rubbish? Are you full of optimism? Can we go to Anfield? Will we be top of the league on Saturday morning? I think we will do. It might be time for the Champions League music to play. No, actually, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself
I'll
there.
tell you what, it looks like for this season, the whole same thing is going to continue, where I'm going to keep my feet on the ground and probably have to try and keep you on the ground a bit as the season goes on as well. So, yeah, same old, same old.
Exactly. Some things never change, but our opposition previews have changed, and I'm hoping you've enjoyed the Dean Court Social. Like I say, give us a like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button, and we shall see you next time. And it will actually be in person, won't it, Matt?
Yeah, it sure will be when we do the Wolves preview next week. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Unless I have to bugger off to London again. But I'll tell you what, it was a good meal at the Hawksmoor, I've got to be honest. But yes, thank you again for joining us. We shall see you in the next one.
Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.